A new state leader in education may have an impact on the future of Holyoke Public Schools. The acting commissioner of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, Russell Johnston, is in his first full week on the job, and come next week, he'll be in our area to focus on the state's control of Holyoke schools and a possible plan to get out of receivership.
Western Mass News reporter Wesley Days is live in Holyoke with more details tonight. And Wesley, this new change at the top of the state's education department is bringing some cheer to the Paper City. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you'll see how much cheer is bringing to the Paper City in just a few moments, Abby and Chris. And one of the schools that could be impacted is just behind me here. We're talking about the Holyoke High School. They just got out a few hours ago. Now, former DESE Commissioner Jeffrey Riley may have stepped down only days ago, but his successor is a familiar face to West Springfield. We're talking about the former superintendent, Russell Johnston. He's already planning to be at Holyoke's next school committee meeting with details on how the city can proceed as they hope to transition out of their receivership plan. Smiling ear to ear.
It's very exciting. We finally feel like we're beginning to have some momentum with at least starting to establish like where we go from here.
A new acting Department of Elementary and Secondary Education Commissioner could mean some new changes to Holyoke School receivership plan. Holyoke School Committee Vice Chair Aaron Burnell explains what this shakeup means.
The main point of focus of conversation will be, where are we going from here? Do you support us entering a transition phase? And if so, what is ultimately the timeline? Former DESE Commissioner Jeffrey Riley is out just over a month after his deferment letter following Holyoke's latest push to get out from under state control in place since 2015 due to chronic low test scores and graduation rates. And former West Springfield Superintendent Russell Johnston is in his place. The acting commissioner is expected at Holyoke's next school committee meeting this upcoming Monday as the desire to return to local control continues. One of the things I like to see that comes back out of local control is just that reinvigorated focus of teaching our Holyoke community students and ensuring that their day provides them with what they need, not just what a statistic needs.
A just as eager Holyoke Mayor Joshua Garcia tells Western Mass News he's looking forward to working with this new leadership team as all eyes remain on regaining control of Holyoke schools.
Finally, to get to a point where we have someone in an important position that is treating us as an equal partner, wanting to work together to come up with a plan.
This new working relationship between Johnston and Holyoke seems night and day to what they were accustomed to with former Commissioner Riley, who stepped down from his post late last week. Burnell says Commissioner Johnston already is willing to put in the work.
So far, just a willingness to be an active participant, as opposed to just a gentleman behind a door in Boston.
Talking about night and day there, Abby and Chris. Now, we should also mention before the new acting commissioner took on his new role at the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, he worked as a liaison for Holyoke and the state as they continue to navigate this receivership plan. Just a few hours ago, we did hear from this new acting commissioner. He says in part, quote, "I look forward to meeting with the school committee next week to discuss how we can develop a plan to build the committee's capacity to make further improvements in the district. A well-prepared school committee is essential for our shared commitment to returning the school district to local control." Now, we're also hearing from the public school department in the Paper City tonight. Current receiver and Superintendent Anthony Soto says, quote, "I am pleased to welcome Acting Commissioner Russell Johnston to Monday's school committee meeting. We look forward to partnering with him to continue our discussions and planning to determine a path forward." Well, tonight at 6, we're going to take a step back. We're not just talking right here in the Paper City, but even across the Bay State. What does a receivership plan for the countless teachers that teach our young ones day in and day out? What does this do inside the classroom? How does it impact people in the community like this one right here in the city of Holyoke? You don't want to miss my conversation with the leader of the state's teacher association. That's coming up tonight at 6. Reporting live in Holyoke, Wesley Days, Western Mass News.